The meeting is now called to order. This is the Education, Youth, and Family Services Committee meeting for Wednesday, November the 8th, 2023. I am the chair, Councilmember Mills at large. At this time, I will call the roll for those members on the committee first. Vice Chair Letitia Bracey, Councilwoman.
Present.
Councilwoman Brigida Fields. Councilwoman Xanthia Oliver. Councilman Vincent White.
Present.
And President Congo. Are there any other council members on Zoom that would like to be acknowledged? Councilmember McCoy. All right. Thank you for attending, Councilwoman. As a friendly reminder, only members of the committee shall be making motions and seconding. And we have a relatively short meeting this evening, only one item on the agenda, a presentation by Director Ian Smith from Parks and Recs that provides some updates. Welcome, sir.
Thank you for being here, Chairman. I want to say hello to the entire Education, Youth, and Family Service Committee. I am here representing my department, Parks and Recreation, along with my administrative assistant, Carmen Ferguson, in the back. We're excited to be able to give you some information, possibly answer some questions about programming that has been ongoing and a few specific programming that's happening for the fall. If you don't mind moving forward to the next slide. The core of everything that we're doing right now is really based on teamwork. It is really about finding everyone's passion, finding what you do best, relying on that, and figuring out what our weaknesses are and strengthening those things. So these quotes were selected by Ms. Carmen Ferguson. I just want to read the first one. Great things in business are never done by one person. They're done by a team of people. And for me, I'm often given credit for things others do that others will never see. So I want to give thanks for that quote. If we can move forward, please. So the William Hicks Anderson Community Center, this is the programming that's going on here. Some of these things have already passed, but we put them on there as a reminder for next year that you can be aware of it. But we had our second boxing event at the center. We had our Chris Dolly push and pull contest. Chris Dolly, in memory of him and the work that he put into Parks and Recreation. We had a youth-led Halloween party, and there's a young man named Ryan. This young man is amazing. I'm gonna call him our #1 youth ambassador, and I look forward to bringing him to one of these meetings one day. The DuPont employees, the Black DuPont employees, came and blessed us again with a little library. We also had the honor of having Councilwoman Fields there, and Councilman White attended that event. Just important to making sure that kids have an option and an opportunity to select their own books and to give back. A blessing was also put on us that day, and I'm sure he doesn't want me to say it, but another blessing is coming to the children of the center. Okay. Thank you, Councilman White. We also started a martial arts program that's going, and if you don't mind, some of these flyers aren't in here, but the martial arts are kids from 6 to 18, that's 6 to 7 o'clock, and adults are 7 to 8. These are free classes Monday through Wednesday, right? And that's in addition to our boxing program. Our sensei is Sensei Craig, and he's actually an employee of the city of Wilmington in Public Works. Throughout this presentation, I may not mention names, but I will mention departments that are supporting us and pouring into us just like City Council is. Our Lego program. Our Lego program is something we just began. Our capital projects person and Mr. Robert Cannon are taking the lead on that, and every Thursday, 3:30, we have kids coming in and building. Eventually, we'd like to work on a small city in a corner of one of the rooms. Our boxing program, mentioned that already a little earlier, but that's going on every day under the leadership of Coach Doug. And this Saturday, we have the All About Us Women Expo. That's gonna be an amazing opportunity for us to honor the women who will be on attendance, but also honoring the women that have been in our lives and been a blessing. I thought I had that flyer. So please forgive me for not having that flyer with me right now. If any of the council persons would need that, I can make sure you get it, but it is on the city's website as well.
Excuse me, Committee Chair, this is Councilwoman Fields. I'd like to be recognized, please.
Yes, Councilwoman, I was going to acknowledge you when she finished the presentation, but thank you.
All right. So the next slide, please. We had an opportunity to return to the National Recs and Park Association Conference. If you ever hear me speaking of statistics on what staffing should be, what our parks should have, what we don't have, it is based on these numbers that are going across the nation. So looking for, currently we do not have a pickleball court that is by the city. We do not have a fenced dog park. We do not have a handball court. So these are certain things, we can make a decision on whether we want them, but when we're talking about what's the standard, I'm often going to National Recs and Park Association. This year, I think we had 8 staff that went, and you can't make them out in that picture, but that's them, and came back, did a presentation. That is an opportunity for us to meet other professionals, but also to learn from them. And there's constant things that we're taking back. For instance, we currently do not have a volunteer program here in the city. There's a Parks and Rec in Virginia who shared their volunteer program. So stuff like that. So it's very valuable. And maybe one day a council person could come to one of those. Moving forward to the next slide. Youth and Career Development and the Aquatics Cohort. So YCD is rolling. The first cohort is really based on kids that we had last year, and the second is geared towards newer kids. So we added Division of Youth and Family Services and Recreation to partner on this initiative. So the aquatics cohort will have 10 kids. It will last for 12 weeks, but the purpose of it, some of you may be familiar, there was a national shortage of lifeguards. The first year, it didn't affect us, and we got lucky, really. We thought we strategically did something, really we just got lucky. And now this is an effort to make sure that doesn't happen again, but start to train lifeguards to be with us all year long. We're looking forward to this rolling into an open swim meet on like Thursdays, similar to our track program, and then rolling that into eventually having our own swim team. So the first step is making sure that we have our lifeguards, and then we'll roll into the others as we move forward. But we're really excited about this. I think most people are familiar with black and brown children drowning at a rate that others are not. And it's something that can be addressed and can be fixed. Next slide, please. Okay, I had mentioned the expo a little earlier today, and here's another slide referencing that. I'm going blank. Our keynote speaker. Forgive me for not having that flyer. I have every flyer but that. But what I want to say is Burgundy, Miss Burgundy Cannon. That might have been her old last name. She will be our keynote speaker. She is an author. We will be handing out her books. I want to say Councilwoman Fields will be there. Representative Sherry Dorsey Walker will be there as well. And please forgive me if I'm forgetting another name. But once again, this was an opportunity for the men in Parks and Recreation to honor the women. And I also still want to acknowledge the women that end up helping out anyway, right? So if you could go to the next slide, please. Next one is youth and city government. So dates are not there yet. This is coming up. It typically happens, I'm gonna say in March, but it's an amazing opportunity for young people to be a part of this, to start that passion of what does an election look like? What does campaigning look like? What does it look like to represent your classmates? And so we will 100% make sure that you all are aware of the 2 conventions that we hold at the center, so that you can be a part of that as well. everyone's sort of familiar with, we come down here and this whole city sort of takes several kids that represent the mayor and chief of staff, and so we will also do that as well. It's all a part of it. Next slide, please. Community Pass. So this is a software that's going to allow us to develop our membership in tracking our children, knowing names, birth dates, parents, are you allergic to something, but it also helps us to keep our staff safe so that we're able to know, add notes in there about a particular situation with a child, if there's things that we need to be aware of, making sure that those are in there, but mostly that we know who your parents are. And so when I arrived, we were in between having a system and not previously and not having one. So this is the new system. Okay. Now so in 2 more slides, I'm gonna mention something about the Wilmington Youth Leadership Incubator Program. Chairman, you had asked last year, encouraged the administration to have a youth portal. Just so happened at the same time we were talking about an initiative for the young people in the incubator program. So that youth portal may eventually end up being Community Pass, because outside of a membership program, it allows us to put in events that allow you to sign up for these events. So we will be piloting first our satellite sites, so the PAL, Southbridge, connected to the incubator program, West End, Teen Warehouse, having their events on there. But eventually, we would like to have every community center's event in that Community Pass as the one place you need to go to find out programming throughout the city. So eventually, this will be the software that we'll be using to accomplish that. We can move to the next slide, please. So we participate in college fairs, things of that nature, and the next one that is going to be coming up is actually going to be November 15th to the 17th. Now, I'm going to share some information. Typically, to come to this is one of the few things we charge for, and we typically had to use a money order to do so. Community Pass is going to allow us to be able to take payments through that system, because we believe parents weren't able, it made it difficult for parents to leave work, get a money order, come down to the Turner Building. And so this college tour where we were looking for 40 kids, we were only able to get, we weren't able to get them to sign up, and we believe that was the issue. So we have had a conversation with Director Taylor with finance to find out, could that happen, Community Pass be used to take payments. But because of that, we made it free. And so we'll be taking, I think the number's 25 students. I was unable to reach everyone, but I did reach out to Councilwoman McCoy and short notice, and asked her if she knew anyone that could take advantage of this opportunity in less than 24 hours. So that is our college tour that will be going on. The more recent one, there's obviously March 12th, and then there'll be another one in the spring. Next slide, please. And I believe this is my last slide. This is the Wilmington Youth Leadership Incubator Program that I mentioned earlier. This is a grant, a 5-year grant through the CJC using federal funds. This is a violence prevention program. So what that means is, what does it look like when our children are being asked to come up with the solutions? Now, we're asking them that question, but what they're receiving is life skills training. They're receiving monthly speakers. We go on quarterly trips, and there's also incentives built in there. But this year, we're really excited about seeing them start to come into meetings like this. And they've already been invited to be a part of CJC's monthly meetings. Just need to make sure it's appropriate. Obviously, they're in school, but we'll figure that piece out. But we will be working out of Hicks Anderson, the PAL, West End Neighborhood House, Teen Warehouse, and we're looking to bring back LACC. And those will be the 5 community centers that we'll be working with. That's my last slide. I know that there was a question earlier.
Okay. Yeah, if, before we go to questions, we had a few council people join that I want to acknowledge. Councilwoman Darby's on. We have council staff, Michelle Bassanite has joined. Dr. Dwight Doherty has joined from the Hicks Center, and Melanie Phillips has joined, Deputy Director for Parks and Recs has joined as well. Thank you all for your attendance. Yeah. Any questions, Councilman?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. Just for clarity, the fall college tour, where is that going?
Okay, that is going to be going to 4 different locations. I don't have the flyer for that one, but I will say, I want to say Bowie is one. Ms. Carmen, can you pull up the flyer for that? Thank you.
And you can give it to me offline if you don't have that answer.
Yes, sir.
Regarding the Aqua cohort, I think it's very, very forward-thinking regarding the training and the need for lifeguards. So I guess my question is, of the 10, will you retain all of them that they get certification?
Yeah, that's the goal.
That's
the goal. And I want to acknowledge Nicole Torrance, Youth and Family Service, and Dr. Naheem Collins, who those two are working on this initiative together.
Okay. And lastly, I'm a little troubled by the fact that I don't see anything about golf in here, but we can talk about that off record. Thank you.
Well, I'll say this. If you'd like to be the council person that sponsors or supports our indoor miniature golf event, could we have the kit already at the center partnered with First Tee? So I will follow up with you.
But I just didn't hear any mention of it, so
Because I was waiting for you. So.
I'm a little hurt by that.
All right, I'll make it right.
Any other questions by any other council people, please?
Hands up. Deputy Director Melanie Phillips has her hand up.
Deputy Director Melanie Phillips, please.
Marshall has her hand
Hi. Okay, can you all hear me? Sorry, it's Melody. I just wanted to say about the aquatics cohort, to Councilman White's point that yes, we will retain them. They had to sign a contract that says that they will return next summer as a part of us not only paying them to be in the cohort, but also them being paid, their training being paid for as well. Just wanted to let you know that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Melanie. And also, Ms. Bassanite?
Yes, I just had a question pertaining to the youth leadership program, and it was mentioned about like the 5 centers, for example, Hicks as well as Teen Warehouse. Like, so I knew before there was made mention of a youth master plan, but not that we're talking about a youth master plan. But if we can be working with those 5 centers, is there any way like the youth at those 5 centers, I mean, could like come together to say, hey, these are the type of activities that we want. These are the things we want out of our city government. Has there been any thoughts about something like that? Not that it necessarily has to be a youth master plan, but I just want to make mention of that.
Yes. So the grant's focus is violence prevention, but I think to your point, those activities, what do they want to do, are the things that will lead them away from that. So indirectly, yes, they do answer those questions.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Councilwoman McCoy?
Yes, thank you. Although this is not on the agenda, I wanted to ask a question. I saw that we had a survey for Canby Park, and I just wanted to ask how things were going with collecting information.
Well, thank you for asking. I think at the last count, we're at 292 response, and we will be running all the way to November 30th.
Oh, that's good to hear. Okay, is there okay? I do know you have a deadline, but there's a set amount or whatever that you had a goal for how many you needed to collect.
Well, you typically want to try to hit 15% in the neighborhood, but really this was our first opportunity since I've been here to run a survey, have it on the website, and just to work out that system. So we're just really interested to see how many people, and I want to say thank you to the president of Bayard Civic Association, Brad, because I imagine he's doing a lot of talking and sharing this, and he's one of the organizations we're partnered with on this. So 200 and I think it's like 91 or something like that.
Okay. So thank you very much. I did see that we were on the agenda at one point, but I think that we're off. So if you needed to contact me about an update, I'd gladly have that meeting.
Councilwoman Fields?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. My question I really is like more so of a statement. I know that David Ross, he has a golfing academy right there in West Center City. He's off of 8th Street. Maybe we could, instead of recreating the wheel, maybe we can talk to Mr. Ross. I forget what I forget what the name of his organization is called, but maybe we could connect with him to see how we could bring golf to Hicks. Because I'm pretty sure that the administration donates money, sponsors certain things that he does.
Yes, and yes, ma'am, and yes, Councilwoman. We have worked with David before, Mr. Ross, and he partnered with us to do golf at Cool Spring. To be honest, I just felt the way about asking him to be a part of an event that we're using another company's equipment. But we have partnered with him, and we'd love to partner again with him.
Okay, thank you. And another follow-up,
Yes,
Chair?
please. Yes, ma'am.
Did you mention anything about Helen Chambers Park?
No,
I
ma'am,
didn't
this was
hear
just
anything.
programming.
Okay. All right, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Marshall.
Chair,
yes,
Chair, I
Ms.
just want to
Bassinet.
mention that, to echo on what Councilwoman Fields was saying, the name of the program is First Education Golf Council. For the last 2 years, have also put grant funds in for the entity. And I just want to also remind everyone too that the city also has representation on the Rock Manor Golf Club, as well as Porky Oliver as well.
Thank you.
This is Deputy Director Phillips. Just wanted to chime in and say, Councilwoman Fields is spot on. David Ross does provide that particular golfing academy to our summer camp. He runs it throughout the entire summer camp. We just need to bring him back for all of our fall and winter programming. But he has run that golf academy the last 3 years for our summer camp.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Phillips. Okay. And I did have a few questions for you, Director. In reference to the voluntary program, you mentioned that was something that was brought up from a program in Virginia. And any thoughts on starting our own volunteer program here?
Yes, as of 2 days ago, Deputy Chief of Staff Stephanie Mergler and Director Barnes had another conversation about it while they were at a training. But yes, we're going to look at it again. So we do volunteering, but it's typically a company or a business, not an individual.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's what we have to figure out.
And the individual would need to get background checks and all that before they come in? Okay. And next question, in reference to the open swim meet, how would that work, and would that be, is there a fee for the program?
It would be free, and it works similar to our track program. And there will be an adjustment in our track program as well, meaning you'd have to sign up online, and that'll be it. There'll be a limited event, so 25-meter freestyle, maybe the backstroke, something like that, 100,
Okay.
and we keep it very simple and allow it to grow. Just to mention, our track program, we typically only run half of an event because of the amount of time that we have.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. And also, how can City Council assist with the Wilmington Youth Leadership Incubator Program?
Well, I would love to be able to connect with you all and set up meetings that our kids can talk to you, possibly develop a relationship that could benefit them later on going to college or whatever their aspirations are. Would love to have you come and visit some of them. We do take quarterly trips. We do have monthly speakers, so I can make sure that you're aware of those things and that you could come. So yeah, would love to. And any way that you would like to be involved, you can send me a message. It just so happened that what you were thinking lined up, but we would have followed your suit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Definitely. I would definitely love to be a monthly speaker for the kids, and love to invite maybe the leadership of that youth group into one of our meetings as well.
Oh, love
And lastly, the community pass, is there a fee for that as well? I know you mentioned the fee for the parents to pay, they could pay on community pass, but is there a fee for signing up or a fee for the city? The city pays that?
So yeah, it comes out of our budget.
Okay.
Yeah, but for anyone to use it, no, it's completely
For
free.
no fee?
Yeah, and it's just gonna allow us to be able to take, we're trying to see if we can, for the college trips, if we can take payment through that system.
Okay.
That's what we're trying to figure out the logistics with that. And
what's the typical charge for the college tour for per family?
I'm gonna say it's $250. Yeah,
$250, $350 per student?
yeah.
Okay. And that's regardless, if it's two kids coming, they still pay the same amount, the family?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, thank you. Councilman Bracy?
Hi, thank you, Mr. Chair. Just one quick question. For the community pass, is that gonna also be tracking data for the participants, that are coming through the community center? And are you opening that up to the partner community centers, or is it just gonna be something for the kids at Anderson?
So right now, it'd be specific to kids coming inside of Hicks, but there are conversations about what does it look like to take the software elsewhere for events. But right now, it's really to track coming into Hicks, signing up for our events, our programs. The program itself may not even be at the center, right, that you would sign up for. But I would call on my deputy, who's our expert, community pass expert, if there's any information I'm leaving out on that.
Hello again, everyone. No, Ian, you pretty covered it well. So the community pass, Councilwoman Bracy does have the capability to insert programs and leagues in it citywide. We have the ability to work with other community centers to put their programs in it. Currently, we have 300 youth registered in Community Pass. Those are Hicks members. The benefit of membership is that they get first dibs in all of our community trips, especially the ones that we take for free. And then in addition to that, Community Pass eventually will be rolled out for all of the adults inside of Hicks. We wanted to make sure that we worked out all the glitches with getting our kids set up with their key fob and their pictures, because now when they come in, instead of paper, we're in the 21st century, and they get their key fob scanned and their picture comes up on the screen.
Thank you. Awesome. And lastly, I didn't hear any mention of any robotics or anything to that nature for the kids? STEM robotic type programs?
Well, I mentioned the Lego program,
Yes.
but I also want to give a shout out to Director May. So there was a pitch was given to us for a STEM program last week. Forgive me for not knowing the name of the program. However, the dollar amount, we weren't going to be able to afford it.
Okay.
So, and this person was brought to, I met her on Market Street with her exhibit out on Market Street. So reached out to Director May and said, hey, look, we love this partnership. Actually, he was in the email. We said, look, we're going to budget season. We'll put this in as a line item. We'd love to have it, but we can't afford it. He saw the email. He reached out to us and said, listen, I would like to make sure that that program is there. So we will have that STEM program.
Great. Awesome.
Because of Director May.
Great, thank you. Awesome work.
Just clarity.
Yes.
Just because might be public members, you want to explain who Dr. Mim is, in what department?
Director May is in IT. Thank you. Thank you. He's the director of IT. And also want to show some love to him as well. We have a 85-inch touch screen TV that we'll be putting in, and that came to us by way of him as well. And we'll be using that to run educational program. Probably some fun stuff on it. It's probably fun to play Madden on that too. But definitely educational programs.
Great.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, seeing no other hands, I just want to say thank you, appreciate you and your staff for all you're doing, your dedication. It means a lot. I see the transformation in that building. I see the smiles of the children coming in and out the building. I got some of my clients who attend your program, so I personally want to thank you, and I look forward to working with you. And I got some ideals for some programs. Like I said, I just visited a program, an after-school boxing program, and I want that program in my city. So we're going to try to make that happen here as well. So thank you for your work, and keep up the great work, you and your staff.
Thank you. It's an honor to represent a bunch of great people working alongside me.
Is there a motion to adjourn?
Yes, motion to adjourn, Mr. Chair.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you.